Hi, thanks for joining me and continuing with me. We're continuing to explore the topic of the culture of honor and how to have really great relationships, especially in our families. One of the principles here is, we all have a fundamental question. At the core of our being, every child who's born and as they're growing up really has a fundamental question and a struggle for the correct answer. And the question is, am I loved? Am I valued? Am I precious to somebody? Am I wanted? Or am I rejected? Am I worthless? And am I unwanted? This is a fundamental question that every person has in their own heart. And God gives us the answer, first of all, that He loves us and we have great worth and great value to Him. When we internalize that, it heals our heart, it fills our heart, it transforms our heart. And then as we internalize that, then we begin to show that to other people, and we begin to answer the question for other people. In particular, if we're married, a husband or wife, we answer that question for our spouse. You are loved, you are valued, I love you, I value you. You're not unwanted, you're not rejected. And then when we have children, we answer that question for our children before they even know they have the question. We start answering that question for them. You are loved, you are valued, you are wanted, you're precious to me. We build that into them from the time they're very, very small. Jesus said something to His disciples that I believe helps us to understand this principle. It's in John chapter 15, verse 16. It was shortly before He went to the cross. He had just spent 3+ years training His disciples, teaching them. And right before He goes to the cross, He has a conversation with them, and He says this, John 15:16, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you, that you should go and bear fruit." And the verse goes on from there. But the part I want to really focus on for a moment is that Jesus said to these disciples, "You didn't choose me, I chose you." This means that Jesus is the leader in the relationship. He's the person in the relationship that has more power. And that applies to us too, because in most relationships are not equal. In fact, most relationships, one person has more power than the other. For instance, in a husband and wife relationship, it's usually the man who pursues the woman. It's usually the man who proposes to the woman. The woman will wait to be proposed to. And that means that the man has more power in the relationship, and the man has more power to determine ultimately, as time goes on, if that relationship is healthy or unhealthy, if it's going in the right direction or the wrong direction. The man has usually more power in that relationship. Well, how about parents and children? Obviously, parents have more power in the relationship than children. Parents have the power to make their children amazing or to damage them terribly. Parents have the power. Most relationships are unequal in their power balance. And so Jesus here is addressing this issue, and he recognizes He's the leader, He's the person with the power in the relationship with His disciples. And He said, "You didn't choose me, I chose you." Now what's powerful about this is Jesus is telling them, again, I choose you, I chose you, and I choose you still. Now, this is really what He's saying to them. I chose you, and I still choose you. What does that communicate to them? I wanted you. You have value to me. You are very valuable to me, and I have great plans for you, great future for you. I believe in you. I see worth in you. I see potential in you. I have chosen you, and I have not changed my mind. I choose you still today. And He was building into them that truth of their value to Him in the relationship and what they were going to do ultimately in the world as ambassadors of Jesus later on. Well, how does this apply to us? If you're the person with the power in the relationship, for instance, if you're the husband with usually more power, what you are called upon to do is communicate to your wife, I chose you then and I choose you still. Today, I choose you again. I still choose you. I've not changed my mind. When you communicate that to her, you're answering her question again today, am I loved, am I valued? And when you answer that question for her on a pretty regular basis, you're making the relationship very, very rich and very, very rewarding. And parents can do the same thing for their children. They begin to answer that question for their child, am I wanted, am I valued? And you say to your child, however you say it, the words may vary, but you're saying, I chose you and I choose you still. Well, maybe they weren't entirely on purpose. That doesn't matter. The fact that they're born to you You say, I chose you, you're mine, I love you, I value you, I give you my name, I give you my love, I give you my heart, I give you my protection, and I still choose you today. When you communicate to your child or your children, your grandchildren, I choose you today. I want you, I value you. You are not an inconvenience to me, you are not a problem to me. I do not reject you, I value you, I want you. When you communicate that, you're making that relationship so very rich. And you're actually demonstrating great power. You're the person with power in that relationship, and you will make it amazing.